Hello and welcome to Studio Stories presented by the ARC Foundation for the Arts. Here we visit artists who have made Baroda their home. They have welcomed us into their homes and studios to talk about their diverse lives, stories, and choices, all united in their conviction towards the arts. I have been familiar with Mahesh Baliga's works since his college days in Baroda. I have seen him immersed in his visual world where the real and imagined, the special and mundane collide and coexist. In his works, you can see elements of that young boy looking at the world with wonder and curiosity, along with the wisdom he has now. In his almost autobiographical works, he chooses from a range of everyday characters and infuses a new life into these unfolding stories. His works have been featured in various exhibitions such as Kochi Biennale, the Bengal Biennale, and in a variety of solo shows, including his first international show, Drawn to Remember, at David Zwirner's London Gallery. What stood out in the conversation was how his childhood in the Western Ghats came alive with his storytelling. The local temples, and the anecdotes of doing odd jobs while he found his way to art colleges show the perseverance in Mahesh's spirit. He traces how his approach to art making and painting was informed by the practice of research and guidance from his mentors here in Baroda.
I grew up in Mudbidri. It's actually called Dakshina Kannada, south of Karnataka. And one side it's Western Ghat, and one side we have a breeze of sea. So that's the geographical thing, and it has this historically 12th century Jain Kashi. It's called Mudbidri because of it's the meaning is like Vadodara has the banyan trees, so it's the bamboo trees.
Okay.
So that's the meaning. With art, it started because my sister was doing a job, and earlier used to get some craft that was made.
Like what?
Like a juice bottle is been converted to a flower vase, or a chariot from blade, used blades, or like two deers with that, what is called? It's called, I think, velvet paper or something, by cutting that. Those things were done. My mother also was good at making bags from those. The packing thread used to get plastic ones. She used to make bag out of it. I grew up next to the temple, so there was always a competition when there was festival of tying flowers. Who will tie flowers? And there are so many kinds of flowers. Without thread, they would weave the flowers. All these things are going. And there was one temple where they used to make Ganesh idols, and I used to go to steal the clay because that's the I would go just before the closing of the temple afternoon. So he is inside the temple, so I can steal the clay. So I used to steal them in my pocket and get back home. And I used to copy him making Ganesh or Saraswati, all these kind of things. So there was no availability of colors. That's the other part of like if you go and ask, I want red color, they won't have it.
Right.
So they will tell, we have pink or blue or anything. So you have to manage, or you had to think of alternative how to make that. So first time I didn't get white, so I used toothpaste on a clay.
Toothpaste, huh?
on the the powder we used to get. So that to mix with color, with all my sisters' makeup was being used for my sculptures. So then I would get beating or scolding from her.
What was home like?
Actually, when I was 4, I lost my father. After that,
You were the youngest?
I was the youngest, and I was not good in studies, but I didn't understand the basic. That was my problem. But once I got to 8th standard, it became different. But home, my sister would do recipes from. There was one program called Surabhi in DD, and little bit of Hindi I learned in. There was Friday cinema. They used to have Friday and Saturday. So my sister used to watch, and my mother used to read lot of books from the library, and my sister also reads. Everything got lost in 85, 86, 87, 86. After that, my sister had to work. My mother was a housewife. But there's so many things that I got from them, I don't know how, but like the wit and the humor, the way I talk, that's all my mother, I feel, most of the time. And little bit of art or, seriousness about that I got from my sister and my Jijaji.
So what were you drawing?
I never drew.
So what did you do?
I sculpted
So what did you make?
Ganesh, Saraswati, snakes, vegetables, dinosaurs, anything.
So then that was school?
Yeah. I never liked drawing in the beginning.
Why?
I don't know. Still I don't draw much. I paint, but not drawing in that.
Right.
I think sculptures, I enjoy that.
What? All clay?
All clay, paper mache, using umbrellas, because I saw a movie, Jurassic Park, and there was a dinosaurs which ears would come out. So we had a broken umbrella and I made that out of it.
Oh.
So
what were people? How were people reacting to you around when you were making these things?
They would get happy looking at these, whatever I used to make, but they would always tell, you have to study, this has no future. And once I decided to join, I joined an art school actually.
How did you get to know about it?
There was an ad and I joined, that's in Mangalore. At that time, I was doing aquarium business at home.
Okay.
I used to write banners, number plates, what else I used to do? And going to study that art school. By 3-4 months, I got fed up.
Why?
Because they were preparing for the exam that was going to come in the end of the year. My interest was not in that.
Absolutely.
So they would make us, draw a whole day, a beer bottle and a square box, or a hibiscus flower in pencil, watercolor, pen, all these things. Because once I joined Mysore, because there was a teacher called N.S. Pattar. So he had done his MFA and all, and he was young, and he knew, like I was not interested in studying there. So then he said, you go somewhere else. And then I met Manjunath Kamat's father in a bakery, and he gave me the address. This is the art school in Mysore, you go. So one day I just ran away to
Tell me about it. How did the decision come?
I just wanted to go and know something which I don't know. I wanted to learn.
Right.
So I thought I'll just go. So after going, I never went out from my home. So I went and I knew the stop. It was on the just first stop when you enter the Mysore. So I stayed there, gave my exams. So I got the seat and I came out. I was in joy that I got the seat. And then I went back home and my mother didn't allow me. She didn't want me to go to art school. Then I went to my sister and Jijaji. They also tried to convince me that, that this is all not. You go to BCom, you do some ITI. Initially, my Jijaji gave me some money that I can go and
To that college?
because they wanted to. They didn't want me to make sad, but somehow they, I think, believed in me a little bit.
Now, when you look back at that time, what do you think it had given you?
So many things come from different people.
Yes.
Once I was studying in my first year painting, and there was our dean Sholapurkar, V.M. Sholapurkar. So he got some commission of repairing the murals. So I went, and it was like on the 10 feet height. So you have to climb up with the palette, everything. So he said the leaves were damaged and some branches were damaged in the painting. So I made the color and I went and I started applying. So then he said me, come down. I came down and he started, you don't know to catch the brush hold the brush in third year, what will you do? I said, I don't know. He sent me back that day. And I was so sad that I don't know how to hold a brush. So next day again I went. Then I said, I don't know. Please teach me because I don't know. So then he showed me what happens when you hold your brush where there is the socket, what happens when you
Hold it at the back.
On the extreme end of the brush. So that was the first lesson from him. So many lessons, there was a very, one of my favorite teacher, and whatever I am thinking or doing because of him, majorly. Because he never said no for anything, and you could express what you wanted to.
What is his name?
Ullas Sanjgiri. So I really wanted to get one appreciation from him, which was never happening. Where one of my classmates would draw something which is not proportionally good or something, but he would appreciate it. And at that time I didn't understand what is happening. Because the way I used to paint watercolor was leaving the white space of the paper and all those things. But with him, he was talking about how you study things, how you see things. I think once I joined painting department, I made 6 months, I think. I was not happy because I couldn't learn or whatever was happening, I couldn't adjust with that. So then I think I started painting on brown papers. And one painting I made of a drainage of Mysore, and that changed everything in my, the way I see things. Because one was the way I started painting, that was opacity that started in the watercolor because I was using brown paper. The second, because I used to paint on brown paper so long, then I started on white. The same thing started continuing. So somehow there was certain things which changed the way you want to hold in your painting. And the second thing, I got a subject which I didn't had earlier. So that happened, and I think same time I was doing diaries, where small 4 inches by 4 inch, 5 inch by 5 inch books, where I would paint autobiographical of everything what we are talking now. Those are all, so many of them are painted in that time. Like my sister dressing me like a girl because she didn't had a sister, so she would take pictures of those. Or the thread ceremony, or the
It's like visual autobiography.
So I think so many things change.
You have
because
those?
some of them I have, or falling in love, all these things. I painted inside a water tank, so I only can go in. Like if you want to see the painting, you have to go in and see that.
Right.
So because I didn't want to show about love to everyone, so that was painted inside the tank.
Oh, no, interesting. So who are the artists? By then, did you get to know about already practicing artists?
When I was studying, yeah. Like when so many things changed. Once there was an article back to back in Art India, 3 paintings that changed the whole, because this was happening, that drainage painting I made.
Right.
After 1 year, I saw Sudhir Patwardhan's Ullas Nagar, then Ghiu Patel's Mango Eater, and Bhupen Kakkar's Man from Valsad with 5 Pennies. This whole 3 paintings changed the way I started.
What was it like to look at Bhupen Kakkar at that time?
It was surprising. He was always surprising. That is something which I think excited me. And the other one is the honesty, where he's keeping things open.
Right.
So those 2 things, and the subject matter somehow that coming from his
Personal life.
So I think that's.
So were you
With
talking
Sudhir Patwardhan,
about...
it was like the way he painted and the subject, the way it transformed. Like Ullas Nagar looks like a very beautiful place, but the whole, it's a drainage and it's a factory,
Exactly.
all those things.
Yeah.
And they also remind me of the books where they show how to paint landscape, all those kind of things. Like wanted to know painting more. It's like a person kind of feeling with that. The teacher who I really love is Ullas. So he never said us or taught us how to paint or nothing. He would just talk about the sensation that is there in your work. Try to hold that. What is happening there? See that. It's an abstract thinking.
And what was the medium?
We would paint, like I would paint on anything, like on the certificates, on lungi, on
okay.
anything which is a support on a plywood, or corrugated sheet, anything.
Right.
I think, then there was one Khoj workshop that happened. So we came to know about installation and anger on the installation. Artists from all over the world and India were participating in it, and they had a workshop, a slideshow every evening. And we had done a protest also, small installation. What is installation? It's not art.
Okay. Oh, nice.
That kind of thing. And that was also installed.
Okay. You remember anybody answering? Who were the people
One of the best answers, best in the sense of The way made younger students understand was Remsen, who said, I don't do installations, my works are extension of sculpture. And I was thinking of what I learned. That's
So what did you learn?
no, that extension of sculpture, that idea only was very new for me. I knew Carl Andros' work at that moment, but I am not seeing that as an extension of sculpture there. But when Rimson showed his work and talked about it, he was never talking about it as installation. Where few of them were talking about installation, site specific, and all those kind of things, which had a context. After that context, I don't know how the work will look. I don't know about that. But at that moment, I was highly
Charged.
charged with this idea. So of object making, because I think 1 year before that, Tallur had taken a workshop for us on object making. And all those things, connected somehow, dots, so many dots of information, of experience, all those are collected somehow.
Do you remember about Tallur's workshop?
Yeah,
How it was?
like he made us write on like I wrote on my sketchbook, or the diary what I was talking about. In that, what is necessary and what is unnecessary that you have been painted, or how you are looking at it now. So that was the exercise, and I had made, I think, 100-page, whatever, the English was bad or spellings were wrong, all those things are there in it. But I made an attempt to write. So I was not an English spoken person when I was in. Because of my teacher, I had to learn. Because he said me, if you want me to talk, you have to go and see the library, read what is below the plates, make notes, read anything in the newspaper, whatever you liked. So there was one column in the Mysore. It was in the evening paper, small. I don't know what it is called. So it had all these problems, of people. They write and somebody would answer. So that was the first interesting thing I started reading. Then was the cricket news. Well, that way the language started happening.
So when did you know that you could speak so many languages?
Well, that is by default in the place where I was born. You are supposed to speak 3 to 4.
What were the languages?
Like my mother tongue is Konkani. The district language is Tulu. The state language is Kannada. English, Hindi you have in school. So 5 languages by default. There is no way you can escape that. So the rest came from Mysore when I joined Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam. There, and once I came here, Hindi became better because I started seeing dubbed movies in English movies dubbed in Hindi. There was a theater next to faculty.
Rajeshri.
Yeah, Friday morning, first show. So that was.
And then Bangla.
Then Bangla. Then once I started teaching, Gujarati came in. So that way.
So now in the hindsight, when you look back, what do you think fine arts faculty has given you?
Confidence of whatever I am talking to you now, that confidence was one. The other thing is that how professionally you have to work towards doing something. Put your full energy in that. Going deep, researching things. Struggle is nobody would understand, that is the struggle. So you have no idea, like ideal. So it becomes difficult from the other side to grasp it. because each were like dots, the ideas. I was like interested in the idea of making, how to make and what is the idea.
Right. The environment of fine arts is much beyond the classroom,
Yes.
right?
Like I used to stay in faculty only
Yeah,
for
exactly.
whole day. I was told to go for taking bath in the hostel and Sunday to wash my clothes.
Did you meet Aparna there
Yeah,
in the college?
yeah, yeah. She was in my batch. She was doing art history.
She was she brought completely new things in your life, I'm sure.
Yes.
It's a different way. So, what are those?
Like I was very lazy person, so that changed. I started reading. I started listening to songs, music, and certain things which she would read or see, she would discuss with me, or I would discuss. That platform was being built. So when I was studying here, I met Sudhir Patwardhan and Giv Patel, both in my studio for 1-2 hours. And there has been a long association with them. After that, whenever I have my show, they would come and I would send my work. So I was working with the ideas and how to paint, all those things were there. But somehow I missed what was happening. So in 2012, when I had my show and Giv Patel came, he would come always before the show opens, morning. And he was seeing at the work and he said, there's a lack of emotion. And there is emotion, but somehow you are not working towards it. And I didn't understand anything about that. I had no experience. I was thinking art is about ideas, art is about how you deconstruct things, all those kind of notions I had. But in 2014, when I lost my mother, and that is the point, I think, spending 2-3 months in hospital, and after that, after a death, somehow I realized what he was talking. And I think that changed everything in my work afterwards. I know how earlier it was my pain, then slowly it became anybody's. So I would reflect on it. And the work starting point became the pain. It may be not able to do something, that pain also is included from other kinds of pain or sufferings. Vasudha Thakur has said that the consequences are there when you make choices. And once I remember I asked Manida about how about practice, and then he said, artist eka thakbe, means he will be alone all his life. So only it may feel you are appreciated, you are whatever other things, that is on a level where you are not happy about it, because you know that you still want to, the desire to grow more or know more, that I think denies all these things once you are entering a studio and you become alone.
So, an artist is always a learner.
Yes.
So, is social Mahesh Baliga and artist Mahesh Baliga two different people?
One is quiet. One is.
So, which one is quiet? Artist?
And I don't want to call myself artist. I am a painter. I am very clear about.
What is the difference? It's the same, no?
No.
Why? Who is an artist?
Who is much concerned with the society, I think. Because because all these are baggages which I don't want to carry. So that is one part of me. But the other thing is, it becomes sometime a habit of being, because you are being labeled or then
There is a hierarchy, you feel.
so little bit is there. So I just want to keep myself open and myself free. So this is a better world for me.
This is an oral history project presented by the ARC Foundation for the Arts. Music is Rag Yaman by Vibal Sara, with our thanks to UD Entertainment Private Limited. Special thanks to Mahesh Baliga. Thank you for listening.